Yo, what is going on, people, and welcome back to another video. So today I'm going to be talking about this new life game called Project Life. Now, these guys have been working on this game for 2 months, so it's not that long, but they've actually came somewhere and it actually shows things working, all that good stuff. So we do know that this is not going to be one of these like scam things in a way, because these guys have actually showed it. Unlike Raw, where they were like, they made a trailer and that's it. These guys aren't just going to make a trailer, these guys are just going to post out, dev blogs, so you guys can actually see the game working, which I think is a really good idea, because then that stops the idea of people thinking, oh, this game's going to be a big scam. Now, they do have a lot of menus working, like shops, where you can set up your own stores, all that good stuff, and you'll be able to roleplay with people. You'll be obviously be able to sell your own clothes and all that good stuff. They've got food and all that lot already in the game, ATM and the money menu. What I do think about this game, though, they do need to update the graphics. I don't like the graphics personally. I feel like it's like Roblox slash Garry's Mod. I feel like for a game in 2019, well, this will be coming out in 2020, then I feel like they should have a lot more in terms of graphics. Now, yeah, obviously when you upgrade your graphics, less people can actually play it, but I feel like everyone should be able to have better graphics nowadays than, obviously the graphics that we see here. Now, the early access, when it does get released, they plan on releasing it at the end of 2020, if I've read this correct, and they plan on leaving early access 3 to 4 years into the games being on release. Obviously, it'll be on Steam, and they do plan on creating a Kickstarter when they release it onto Steam, just to obviously get some money into it, because obviously projects like these do need some money in there so they can actually become a lot bigger and a lot better and make a better roleplay game for us. Now, I do think that the UIs are a bit simple and they do look like they've been made from some devs that actually, don't know what they're doing, but they have become a game like this. They have created a game and they have actually showed me some other features and them actually working on the game, so they do actually know what they are doing. But like the HUD, I don't like the HUD, and they have changed the HUD, but I still don't like the icons and the way that is set up. Now, the inventory, that's alright, but I just feel like all these things are very basic and plain, you know what I mean? I don't know, you guys tell me what you think about this, but I really do think that it's plain and basic, and that it should be a bit more advanced to say that it is a roleplay game. Now, obviously, most of the roleplay will be coming from me and you messing around with items and stuff, but I feel like you've got to have some good visuals, looking at things, it's got to look good, but you can actually buy your own places, like you've seen in the video, and there you can set up any type of shop that you want. So if you want to do an electrical goods store, you'll be able to do that. If you want to do a food store, you'll be able to do all that. So that is pretty good. Now, you have the key features for what you need as a roleplay game. So you need some sort of items like food, and you need obviously money and all that good stuff, which they do have. They have ATM system with actual money. They've got a furniture system where you can actually place things down, pick things up. That's something that you need. They do have VoIP, so obviously you'll be able to speak to someone. Luckily, I didn't want to do text chat roleplay. Who wants to do that? I don't think they do have a chat, but I'm not too sure. You can actually just place things down and obviously store some things. You can actually buy your own apartments. And when you do buy your own apartments, you'll actually be able to place some of your objects down, all that good stuff. And it actually won't affect the FPS on the server. So say you place 1,000 beds in a house. When you actually walk outside of that house, then beds get deleted temporarily, and then when you actually go back into that house, then all the items are up here. Now, this might cause some lag spikes. I'm not too sure on obviously big game development. I don't develop games, so I don't need to know a bit more. But in this game, when you can restrain people, which you can when you're on as an officer, there's no actual, how could I say, animations. Like, I feel like there should be a few more animations for this game. Obviously, it is a roleplay game. When you pick things up, I feel like your hands should move. when you do restrain some people, literally you just restrain them. You don't even go up to them and cuff them. You just press a key band. They're in handcuffs. The hands don't even go behind the back or anything. The hands are just normal, straight, and there's not even an interaction menu. Now, I do think you should have an interaction menu where you could maybe like Windows key on people, and for a police system, do something like Armor Wars where you can actually, you know, put people in vehicles, for example, you know, like all these different type of things instead of pick up and then you move them around. I feel like there should be an escort button or something along the lines of that, as it's just, you know, it's not there for me. I don't see the police side there. Now, I don't know if this game has vehicles. Now, I can't say it does, and I can't say it won't have vehicles, but I have not seen vehicles, and I suppose that is a completely new, different system for people that are scripting it. Now, the people that are making this game are British, so everything that you do see in this game is actually in the pound currency. So I don't know in the future if you'll be able to edit some of these, you know, make it into dollars or euros or whatever you want to use, but at the moment everything is in pounds. Now, they do plan on having a Steam workshop so people can actually create mods, which I do think is really cool in games like these, because you can't leave everything up to the devs. If you leave everything up to the devs, the devs don't hear you. Not all the time. Devs don't hear your, you know, what you want in the game, but modders do, and modders have their own ideas. And let's say, for an example, DayZ. DayZ would be nothing without modding. I personally think that. Before DayZ actually came out, I didn't like it too much. Now modding's a thing. It's amazing. But this game is really good for a month's worth of work. I don't know what you guys think, but they've done a lot more than Raw, because Raw said that they've done it for 2 years. Identity, I feel like they're on the same scale as Identity, and Identity got like $1 million and they had like years to work on it. These guys have only spent 2 months. Now, they have made another game before, or they were starting to make another game, so I did ask, is this gonna, you know, affect this project? And he said no, because at the moment they can't actually do something with that. I'm not too sure. But this does have factions, so it does have the police and the civilian. What I do think that they should have is they should have a fire, maybe some like rescue, Hato, for example. I don't, you know, where if you break down, you'll be able to get them vehicles. EMS, they obviously need that as well, but I'm not sure that that's in at the moment. But I do like the way everything is done on this game. Now, they don't have a map currently. This is like a dev map. They're focusing on all the scripts and stuff, which I do think is good, but mapping does take a lot of time, so that'll probably be the last thing that they actually do. Now, they do have a meth and a weed system. Them are the main key features. You can probably see the meth on the screen right now. And they are planning on adding other drug things in the future. But this meth system obviously is advanced. Obviously, it is a roleplay game, so it's not just a case of pick something up that's a virtual item and take it to a shop and sell it. They've got a full working system here. Now, I do feel like every game that has this placement thing where you pick up objects, you can buy objects, and you can place them, are all the same. I don't know. Do you think that? Because I personally do think that about this game. You know, it's using some of the other things. Now, I did question them about, you know, using models, and they don't actually have a 3D modeler at the moment. So that's why they're waiting to create the map. Once they get a 3D modeler, they'll be able to create some actual models themselves and then start working on the map. So the ones at the moment I think are bought, but obviously they're free to use. I can remember seeing one of these assets, these shops in Arbor 3, I think, before when I used to play on modded servers. You would see some of these buildings around here. Now, this game doesn't have that many spelling mistakes, but I did see in a UI, I think it was a bank UI, something like that, it says Crim. When it should say crime. I don't know if they fixed that. Hopefully they have, but it's not like civil contract where you've got a million spelling mistakes. Now, these guys do check things. As I've seen, they've got many testers as well to actually go around and test this game, and they do test the game thoroughly. They don't just say, yes, we're going to release this and then release it, you know, as a mess. Now, you can actually be a tester if you are up for that. Obviously, there'll be a Discord in the description, and you can actually run around this game and test it out. Obviously, you've got to sign an NDA. I don't even have the game at the moment, but that's what you can do. My pet hate really with this game is the graphics. I do feel like they should just be improved. If not a bit, you know, just improve them somewhat. because I feel like it's worse than Garry's Mod. I feel like you've got better graphics in Garry's Mod, and that's saying something from a game from 2016. Maybe these developers have bad PCs. I'm not too sure. I haven't asked them, and maybe that's why they have to obviously create, a bad graphics game. Because if you've not got a good PC yourself, you can't create a really, really beautiful game, and your PC can actually, it can't do anything. Now, I don't know if you can crouch and if you can lie down on the game and roll around and all that stuff, but I feel like some of these are basic on what we need. Obviously, you want to have some system like Daisy and like Armor's got, where you can actually like press Windows key or something, and do some dance moves, rock, paper, scissors with your hands, give people the middle finger, all that stuff, all these gestures. I feel like you just need these little things. They are thinking about the big things, so they are thinking about making a bank. That's coming in soon. They said they were working on that, and when they do, they'll be able to give some people the actual game even more. They're thinking about the big things, and I feel like you should focus on some little things. Obviously not like playing chess, for example, on Identity. No, I don't mean focusing on things like that, but I mean just things that would improve the RP. Now, as you can see, Crim Heist on the screen right then, that basically was where the spelling mistake is, where I said earlier. But maybe they don't know how to spell crime. Who knows? But I do feel like this game's got some potential. They've been working on it for 2 months, so you have to give them some credit. Now, I do want to play this game. I can't wait till it comes out. Coming out in 2020 at some point. I feel like they have got a lot of work to do. But if they've got to this stage, 2 developers, and they've got to this stage, and they do look like they know what they're doing, they do know how to get a basic game up. What I just say is upgrade the graphics, sort out your UIs so they don't look like they've been made by a child, and yeah, I feel like it's good. You guys tell me what you think in the comments down below. I'm gonna leave you with me, the old me, and this guy. We'll be doing a Q&A. I asked him a few questions that I normally do with some game developers, and some game questions just based on this game. This hand system reminds me so much of Garry's Mod, where you've got your hands up. Unfortunately, they don't have the fizz gun, as we all love, when you're whacking things everywhere. But yeah, check out the Q&A, leave a like, leave a subscription, and I'll see you at the end of the video. What inspired you then to actually create your game? I ask this with every game creator, because I feel like something's obviously got to inspire you. People just don't say, oh, I'm going to make a game, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, I mean, I've always loved games, always made games. I started off making games in Game Maker and Scratch. If you know Scratch, Scratch is literally so when I was about like 8, I started making games in Scratch, or maybe even younger than that. And then we kind of I moved into Game Maker, and I did that for a long period of time. And it wasn't until when I started studying game design, me and Lewis, was when I started getting into like UE4 and Unity. And I just personally prefer Unity. It's a more comfortable engine, and it actually feels like you're putting in better work. I don't like UE4's like blueprint system and how everything's a bit drag and droppy. It's kind of like Scratch but for big boys.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just a personal taste, but obviously, you may or may not know we started making a zombie game called Hero Remain.
I was just about to. That would have been my next question about some research on your other game, because I was looking at your Twitter, I think it were, and I see that there was another game previously made.
Yeah. So basically, I'll quickly explain. So we had I can't talk too much about it because it's very touchy waters at the moment with the other people involved. But that game's not cancelled. It's just on hold. We basically got some opportunities, and we took them. And it's kind of half ours and half this other third party at the moment. So we can't do anything with the title. Right up until you could see the release, we were using obviously store-bought assets for that game, and we had like this really cool idea and everything, and then due to this third party, it kind of got slowed down because we had offers and things on the table to basically make a proper game, like a real game, and that's still kind of up in the air, so we can't really do anything with that game at the moment. So it's just kind of on the back burner. And then we started testing multiplayer for that game. And then completely by accident, we started just playing around with multiplayer and Unit and stuff. And we've always been really interested in role-playing games and mainly Dark RP. That's where I mean, if you look at
Yeah,
my
that's
Steam,
why. If I look at that video that you sent me, you'll obviously guys see it in the video previously. But like the hands are there, like that
yeah,
would be something like Dark RP, the actual game. Look, as soon as
yeah,
I clicked on the video and I'm like, this looks like Gary's mod. As soon as
yeah.
I clicked it.
So that's what we're going for with our base. But yeah, Gary's Mod really inspired us, and then once we moved into like armor and things, and we really enjoy that. And basically, it's just upsetting to me and to us that no one seems to be making.
Well,
Everyone just seems
we're
to be a
not.
little bit.
People are making games. They're just very clueless, like Raw
Yeah.
and all that lot. And then they say things, but they don't actually do things, and it's a big like mess.
Yeah. So this is exactly why we're not saying, especially with the devlogs that we're doing, is we're showing them what we've got. And not once in that video do we go, we're going to do this, and this is how big our map's going to be. Because although we know what we're going to do, we're trying to, at least until we get a Kickstarter up, we aren't really talking about that, because we want to show you that we can make a game before we go, this is what we're going to do.
So you will be creating a Kickstarter then?
Yes, I'll get onto that later, because I'll talk about like our funding and everything, if you don't mind. I just want to finish off this bit, but yes, we will be, because obviously we need funds. Is there any good game, you need funds? You can't make it on a shoestring budget like we are right now. Yeah, so Dark RP and stuff. Obviously, the more the game progresses, we want it to get to more of a Armor Daisy level of kind of movement systems and gunplay and things like that. We don't want to make it overly realistic in the sense of like, your guns can jam and stuff like that. We're not, we may look at that in the future, but for now we're just looking at nice animations, nice guns, realistic holding of the guns and things like that. We're not promising the most realistic guns ever and the most realistic cars ever, because frankly, probably isn't going to happen, or especially on like the size of the game that we want.
So
but
you
yeah.
are using Unity, aren't you? That's what you're using.
Yes, we are using Unity.
What are the advantages and disadvantages of using Unity? Like, is there anything that you can't do, what you would like to do, what you think is necessary?
So a lot of games, a lot of really big games use Unity. A perfect example is Kingdom Come Deliverance. That game is, for about absolutely massive. Unity can be modified a lot easier than Unreal, and a lot of people, especially when it comes to graphics, they go, "Oh, Unreal is so much more better because Unity looks like shit." I can swear, right? Can I swear? Yeah. But the reason why that is because the engine itself just makes everything look kind of glossy and nice, whereas Unity is a bit more kind of rough around the edges, but it's a lot more. I consider Unity a developer's engine, and I consider Unreal for right. If you look, a lot of games, people that kind of are just getting started into like 3D games, and they're going, I'm going to make next Skyrim, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. They tend to use Unreal because it's a lot more user friendly, whereas Unity is a bit more, I would say, hard codey. It's not as user friendly, is a bit rough around the edges. But when you know what you're doing in code, it's a lot easier to do. And when it comes to graphics of our game, right now, you may have noticed in the video, I didn't go, hey, look, we've got this really nice bank, we've got this nice police station, because the graphics don't mean anything at the moment. They're literally just their placeholder. And the only reason why we've got a kind of map is it's a dev playing field. That shouldn't represent the final map. We haven't even started work on the final map because we don't have our 3D modeler yet. But yeah.
Yeah. So will your game support controllers?
So weirdly enough, our testers have been going on about this. One of our testers, his name's Woody. He keeps saying about controllers for us. So we have played. It will eventually, I would imagine. But right now, it's not anything we're focusing on. We're just focusing on the keyboard and mouse at the moment, and really, we want to make sure that it's a fun experience on keyboard and mouse first before we move on to controllers. Because there's a chance we might need. I mean, we won't do this. We will not do this because it will be uncomfortable to play. There might be a chance, we might have 20 different keys that all need, that need to be used,
Yeah.
and there's not 20 buttons on a controller. So yeah, but that won't happen. But in a scenario, so not at the moment. No, we've had a play, but yeah, not at the moment. Like some basic movement. I think if you plug in a controller to the newest build, you can move around, but you can't look around. That kind of playing is very, very minimal.
So will your game actually have like somewhat of a weather system, like maybe it'll snow, sun, rain, all that good stuff?
So a weather system, we haven't looked into that. Well, we have looked into it, but we haven't started programming it. Those are incredibly hard to do and tasking on servers. Raining, not so much. Raining's pretty simple, but snow, I mean, yeah, I'm sure we could have it where we have a rain effect, but except it's white, and then we just change the texture to snow. But having like snow that's like in, like Red Dead Redemption 2 and Death Stranding, where you can like move through it.
Yeah.
If you say that you can do that, on a mass multiplayer game without like hundreds of millions of dollars, then you're not really living in the real world, unfortunately. So no, we won't have snow or anything probably. We might do like a down the road we might do like a Christmas update where we remember when Grand Theft Auto Online first come out?
Yeah.
It did that Christmas thing and they laid snow everywhere, but it wasn't really snowing. We might do something like that because that's literally just changing the texture. But actually having in real world snow, probably not. But rain, yeah, I would imagine, to affect the cars and stuff. That's not that hard to do. But snow and stuff like that, no. Especially because when we were having one of our meetings, I threw out the idea of like natural disasters and how cool it would be, but how probable it would be is very unlikely. We won't be able to do natural disasters because you got to remember. Let's say for instance we have like a tornado that rips apart a building. So all right, you can have this object that moves through, hits a building, and the building gets destroyed. That's two assets that you have to have. Two assets you have to have sitting in the same place, because if you're going to make them random, and then you're not just going to want it to be a normal building and suddenly pop to a destroyed one. You're going to want an animation. Sorry, excuse me. Where it changes, and that's a lot to take on a server, and that's just one building. So imagine doing it for all these buildings around it. It's it's probably we won't be doing anything like that, natural disasters or anything. I mean, again, if we can, we will, but as of right now, we've looked into it and it's it's probably unlikely, especially on the scale of things that we want to do.
Will you be adding modding to your game?
Yeah, at some point, 100%. Won't be there on the early access release, because we don't really see the point in going, hey guys, here's a modding tool, and right at the beginning, because we want people to play the game. We don't want people to mod the game at the beginning. That's more of a once we've added everything, because then someone might add in mod something into the game, and then we're going to do it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Plus,
if your game is like big and it becomes big, people do that anyway. Like let's say for Daisy, someone's making a helicopter, let's say, right?
Yeah.
But Daisy devs might be creating a helicopter, but it's because your community is big. It's more so, it's hard to explain, but it's more so like people still use your stuff because it's in the base game. Some people don't like downloading mods, you see. So
yeah.
That's why yours will probably get used more than a mod. So it's not really a big issue if people are creating the same things even just before you do. So you're gonna obviously build in, let's say you're doing a map in LA, you're gonna build the LAPD, you're gonna build SWAT, and obviously in your game, them are the files that you'll have. Will it be possible for people to change them up? So let's say they want Sheriff's Office and CERT. Will they be able to do stuff like that? Will they be able to get the base core files and then change them to, let's say, another ranking? Let's say you've got NHS, for example, on your game. You might be going for an American. I don't know what style. You'll be able to tell me that in a minute. But let's say you've got NHS. Will people be able to change that to the American Medic Force? Or what's that about?
Yeah, I mean, that would literally just be like kind of more texture changes and stuff, which that shouldn't be that difficult. Again, we will open up modding eventually, just it's not something on the play. It won't be there on release. Where the map is based. So right now, you may have noticed in the MD. Oh no, yeah. Sorry, I haven't. I've been working on art for the MDT.
We've got a leak, guys.
Yeah, I've been working on art for the MDT. And basically, the main city that you're going to be playing in at first is called Bradstone. So it'll be BCPD. So Bradstone City Police Department. And that's a fictional town. Everything's fictional. There isn't really anything that's based on like US or UK or anything. But I guess you could say it's going to be more US, I guess. But it's all fictional towns. We want to obviously in the game have land, sea, and air travel, which I've never really understood the point of having, like, let's say for instance, sea travel when I can't go to another island. I can't really do anything. I can just go around the map, which I just think is kind of dumb, personally. There's no really need for me to use boats. So we want to have it that way. Instead, we want to break up our map. So instead of having like a big solid piece of, land, and there's just a couple of cities on it, for instance, or a couple of towns, we want to break that up. So maybe we have two small pieces of land. We each have their own like little towns and stuff on them, so it gives you an excuse to be traveling over water and stuff like that. And that also opens up a lot of gameplay. So yeah, in a minute I'll talk about the roles, but I want to answer your questions first.
Well, that's the only questions that I've got, so if you want to tell me some more stuff, go ahead.
Okay, what else do you want to know? Because I can go on all day about this game. Roles. Do you want to know about like how mares and stuff are going to work, or?
You tell me what you
Okay.
want to tell me.
So obviously we have a lot of roles in the game, a hell of a lot. What we want to do, we aren't really focused. So the two main things we're focused on is roles, like jobs, and social. And we're not just talking about, hey, you guys can talk together. Hey, you guys can do this together. Like, we want to have, cinemas. We want to do that. We've looked into how to do it. We haven't. Can I clarify? We haven't started coding that yet. That is nowhere near being done. It most likely will be in the early access, but we don't know yet because obviously that's not really a priority for us. We don't want to go the route of some other games where the priority was a bit too much on clothing and furniture and stuff like that. We want to give you guys roles, the stuff that you really want. You want to play as police officers. You don't want to run around playing chess, unfortunately. As much as that's cool, you don't want to do that. One of the roles that we haven't started working on yet, simply because we just, the map size really isn't there for it, is the mayor. So one thing that really bugs me and is playing the mayor in a lot of games. You play in again a Gmod, there's not really a lot to do. You can hand out licenses, great. We've already taken that away because you're going to go to a DMV type thing to get your licenses. So what is there for the mayor to do? So as the mayor, you'll have to manage the economy of the town. Now, when I say economy, please take that word lightly, because I may be using it wrong. I'm not talking about money. I'm more talking about how the place runs. So, for instance, as you saw in the devlog, we have player buy menus right now. So with the player buy menus, those will actually have how much stock there is in the whole land. And when that starts to run low, it's down to the mayor to order that in. Now, this all sounds great and complicated, but really it's just changing a few lines of code that we already have in the game and we're already using for the player order menus and everything. And what we're going to have is we're going to have a dock in the game off the city, and all of this will be in the early access, as we've already started kind of playing around with these features, so we know they work. You'll notice I'm only going to talk about stuff that I know 100% is working and we can do. You'll do this, and then the same as the player shops, it will spawn or come in at the dock. Obviously, it won't just spawn. We'll have a nice little animation, where a boat comes or something like that. But it'll spawn at a dock, and then that allows for a truck driver role to go and pick that up, take it to a certain delivery point, and then all of the player shops get refreshed and get more stock in. So it's down to the mayor to manage that kind of stuff. But this also opens up other gameplay. For instance, you can get when the town's running low on guns, the mayor can order in the gun stock, and maybe we might have like a hacking system or something, or maybe someone on the inside knows about it. Maybe the mayor's blurted out these ordering in guns. Criminals get hold of that information and they go down to the docks and they can steal the cargo away or hold up the thing. And all of this I've just said, none of that, or most of that, isn't even code. It's all roleplay. You know, the going to pick up stuff, the people, the criminals getting hold of stuff and heisting it. That's all roleplay. And the best part, and this is what really boggles me, is with a roleplay game, it's one of the most easiest games to make. Other than Network, don't get me wrong, Network coding is hard. But because the majority of the gameplay relies on the people, that's why a lot of these games are really easy to die. And game modes die because you need players. Without players, the games are nothing.
Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Please let me know what you think about this game. I want to know what your opinion is. Do you think this is going to be another rubbish game, or do you think this is actually going to be something decent? Because they're not promising things, they're not saying we're going to have this and that. They're just keeping things basic, and that's good. The Discord will be in the description. They don't have a website currently. A lot of things aren't actually set up. But they do have definitely a Discord, so you can go and join that. Please leave a subscription and a like. Also follow me on Twitter and join my Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. Adios, amigos.